Hello, welcome to the Mishiuma. We invite you to enjoy these tales from Reddit. This was posted by Rolling Into Trouble. This is a bit of an old story, from a couple of months ago. I think it's allowed, so sorry if it's not. I'll address one thing to start. I use a wheelchair and I'm blind. Yes, I'm legally blind, and yes, I can use Reddit. I became blind after learning how to type, so personally I touch type to get all the words out there, then use screen reading software to correct errors and read replies. Just addressing this first because if I don't, I usually get a ton of comments and private messages about it. I love concerts. I live in a big city and go to basically any concert I can afford. This particular concert was a few local bands at a small venue, and I arrived early. I've been to the venue before and they have a section near the front that they rope off. It's definitely not a large section, it could fit 2 wheelchairs maximum. At this particular concert I was the only person there. Now, personally I don't care about having a good view of the stage for obvious reasons. What I do care about is safety, which is a lot easier to manage when there's a specific area designated for wheelchair users. If anyone can start coming in, it gets overcrowded, which compromises safety. I also attend concerts with an aide or occasionally friends and family. This one was with an aide. So, here I am at the concert, having fun and enjoying myself. There's a short intermission and my aide excused herself to use the bathroom. I was just chilling in the special cripple area. This is where Entitled Mom comes in. Honestly, I can't say I've ever seen a mother-daughter pairing at a concert before. But then again, I don't see very much these days. I'll do my best to recreate the conversation, but some of it's a bit paraphrased since it's been a while. Apologies.
Why is this area roped off?
It's for people who are disob.
I saw you. You weren't even watching the stage.
That's probably true. I wouldn't know.
Why leave less room for all of us when you aren't even watching the show? My daughter can barely see the stage, how is that fair?
I'm blind, I just enjoy the music.
Where's your stick?
What?
If you're blind, where's your white stick?
I don't have a stick. Considering I'm in a wheelchair and need an aid anyhow, having a cane doesn't exactly help me with mobility and orientation.
If you are even blind, why do you need to be at the front? My daughter can barely see the stage and she's not blind, it's unfair.
I don't need to be at the front, that's just where they put me and it's out of my hands. Well,
Sarah.
Made up name for daughter.
Go on and move the rope. You can get a better view there.
At this point, thankfully my aide returned just as the daughter was trying to go under the rope to presumably get a better view.
What's going on?
Well,
my daughter needs a better view of the stage.
This area is for wheelchair users.
At this point, Entitled Mom starts screaming about how she saw my aide in the section earlier, so she obviously wants it for herself, etc., etc. And when I say screaming, I mean very excessively loud. Loud enough that security came over to make sure everything was okay. Entitled Mom and daughter were both asked to leave. Entitled Mom started yelling at security too. If she just took her daughter out of the area, everything probably would have been fine. So, justice was served. Silently broken down in the comments captured it perfectly. People seem to think that being legally blind means no sight at all. They have no idea that there are different levels of it and people can still be legally blind with glasses. It's frustrating. I'm deaf, not blind, but get similar because I wear hearing aids, therefore my hearing must be perfect. Not how it works. I try to explain that it is like a spectrum and people are all over that spectrum. Sometimes visual aids like glasses help a lot and sometimes they aren't strong enough to help that much. They just have their own little world where they assume they are right all the time. It is tragic that most people lead their lives without being able to appreciate the difficulties of another person. Though this sad truth does occasionally produce hilarity. This was brought to us by Mayor Ray BG. My friend's grandma's neighbor had problems with predators, wild cats, weasels and rarely foxes or other dogs, so she bought a Turkish Kangol. A big dog sometimes taller than human with painful bite and a real problem for bears. Yes, the Kangols are actually strong enough to fight a bear. After she bought the dog, no sheep or chickens disappeared. Some of the sheep had a few scratches but nothing serious. I heard that some of their neighbors were jealous because they didn't have the chance to get a Turkish Kangol. One day when the neighbor was grazing the sheep, a woman tried to grab the dog. She didn't notice how big the dog was. The dog felt like it was attacked and knocked her back. She slipped and fell on the grass. The dog ran back to the neighbor and the woman started screaming.
Stop screaming, weirdo. Who gave you the right to grab my dog?
I want the dog for my kid. Plus, this isn't your garden to graze the sheep here.
This garden belongs to no one. I have the right to graze them here.
No, you don't.
Just go away.
Not before I get the dog.
You won't.
Just give it to me.
No.
Entitled kid comes over.
Mom, did you get the dog?
No, this rude woman won't give it to us.
Because it isn't yours.
Listen there, you better give the dog to us, or we will break your head.
Bulgarian insult, hard to translate.
If you even look at the dog, I will break your teeth and wear them as necklace.
Just give us the dog to avoid conflicts.
How about you go away and tell your father the next time he has sex with your mother to wear condom without a hole.
That's it.
Entitled kid knocks my friend's grandma's neighbor over. She fell on the grass and entitled mom tried to grab the congal again. The dog started barking like insane. The entitled mom gave up and started running, and the dog was chasing after her. The dog finally got her and bit her hard. The entitled mom let out a very loud scream. After everything ended, entitled mom had to go to hospital because she got an infection, after she didn't clean the part where the dog bit her. The sheep were scared of the entitled mom's scream and started jumping around. And one of them ran over the entitled kid and he fell in the sheep's crap. I was also ran over by sheep once, and trust me, you don't want to get ran over by a sheep. It is painful. This old gran is extraordinary. She threatens to wear the teeth she broke out of their face as a necklace. Incredible.
This post comes from Helga Biscuit. I finally get to write my own encounter. This happened today. I live in a small town in Scotland and went on my weekly shop to a supermarket. Since the virus has hit this country pretty hard, I try to wear a face mask and gloves each time I go out. I mean, any of us could be a carrier with no symptoms, and there are a lot of elderly people in this village. I was waiting for the green man and there was a mother with her child. I didn't pay attention to them at first, and it took me a second to realize the mom started to have a go at me. CM is crazy mom and me is, well, myself.
Excuse me.
Sorry, can I help you?
Yes, take your bloody mask off. It's not going to help you anyway.
No, I won't. Have a good day, lady. I proceeded to walk away to find another crosswalk. I hate confrontation and crazy people make me nervous.
Do you not think at all how those masks are scaring the children? My son is terrified of you. Who knows what trauma you have caused? It's also illegal to walk around with a covered face. People need to be able to identify you.
Lady, please keep your distance. Excuse me for living with someone who is in a risk group. I find it more terrifying to lose a loved one. Bet you wouldn't want that either. I crossed the road quickly to get rid of her so she can't follow with her spawn. She shouted more angry crap at me, but I hardly understood nor heard her anymore. I should have been wittier, but that's all I could muster in a shock that someone would get so angry because of protective gear. Good riddance. What would you have said to the lady? Edit. I also wear the mask because I have allergies, and with all the pollen going around it's super inconvenient and uncomfortable to try not to sneeze and cough all the time. I would have told the lady, we are human, and this is new. With luck that would bewilder her and I could leave her company. This was posted by Seeing Is My Hobby. I worked at a little ice cream shack over the summer. We get some entitled, rude people, but this is the best story I have from there, and the most memorable. It was my 4th day on the job, and I had just finished the training. My boss, we'll call her Kate, was watching as I took an order for a dad and his 9-year-old daughter. They were the first in line. The dad gets a milkshake and the daughter gets soft serve ice cream. No big deal. I get the order out just as we get the 7 p.m. rush, which happens every day. Kate and I take orders and make them like crazy, trying to move as fast as we can, because there are 10 people in line. We get down to the last few people and she was just handing out someone else's order. In the middle of me making a hot fudge sundae, a woman sticks her head through my window and starts yelling her order at me. I give the response that I would be happy to take her order once I finish the one I'm already on, and to please wait outside. I hand out the first sundae and she pushes an old lady, who was part of the group I took the order of and who was waiting for her ice cream, out of the way and starts telling me her order. I said I had to finish my order I was already on, and she says how it's ridiculous to make her and her son wait in line for this long. I ignored her and continued to make this poor old lady sundae, and the mom tries to freaking take it. I pulled it back inside fast enough, told the old lady to have a seat and I'd be right with her. Went out the back door, and personally brought it out to her with a spoon and some napkins. I ignored the entitled mom as I went back in, almost running into Kate, who just handed out her last order. I came around to my window and the woman starts yelling at me about how rude I was to her and her son. I still haven't seen her son, so I assumed he was in her car. The old lady she pushed out of the way was laughing at her from her table. Kate looks the mom dead in the eyes through her window, leans over the register, and closes the window while she's still yelling. "That's enough of that. No one treats my workers that way," she said, and began cleaning up, completely ignoring the still screaming woman outside. The old lady came up to the window again once the mom had stormed off and handed me a $5 tip. "You're one of the sweetest girls I've met around here. Don't mind what anyone else says." That's the end. The rest of the night went smoothly and we got $40 total in tips that night. Willing to abuse an elder for ice cream. What a sad person she is. We hope you enjoyed your time with the Mishi Uma. If you did, like and subscribe. Before you go, ponder this. One gifted a drop of water should seek to repay it with an ocean.